pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much.
Okay. I'll get the routine down. Give me 6 months.
You'll be okay. We do have a quorum, and Chair will entertain a motion to approve or not the minutes of our April 22nd and July the 8th meetings.
Move to approve the April 22nd, July 8th minutes. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions from anyone? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Chair would entertain any comments from the public. Seeing that we do not have any. Amy? We are
Morning.
ready for your report.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
You may have seen, we have our environmental program newsletter that will go out to teachers very soon. School starts next week for about half of our schools. This also went out on Facebook last week. We have sent preliminary copies to a couple of the superintendents who require that to go through their communications director. Avon wants us to communicate through their staff email and also to their principals. They are going to communicate it to their principals. So we are unable to talk directly to the teachers, but crossing our fingers, they get the information.
Anything else?
No, thank you.
Your summer's been going well?
Very well, thank you.
Good. Well, with that, Amy, we're not moving to Lynn's report yet.
We're not.
We're not, no. We have decided that today, and if you don't mind, I'd like you to stand, please. There might be someone in the audience you know as well.
Yes, and I wondered why he was here.
Well, he's checking on you, and your report was so short that that he's probably wondering what you really do.
He gets an earful.
Okay, very good. Amy, what we want to do this morning is recognize your 20 years of service, which, according to Lynn, that is correct. So I assume he's trustworthy in knowing those numbers. 20 years of environmental education. We're taking a few minutes, and I have to read this. It's not because I'm going to cry, but it's because I'll mess it up. A few minutes to recognize your extraordinary work as you are in your 20th anniversary of work for the recycling district. I don't think 20 years is a long time, but it says 20 years is a long time, and it is. And we're grateful, Amy, for all you've done for the district. You have been working in environmental education long before joining the district organization. I guess in 1994, right out of Purdue University. It's hard for me to say that university's words, but you began your career as an education conservationist at the Montgomery County Soil and Water Conservation District. And in 2000, you joined the West Central Solid Waste District and began your years of teaching kids about the science of recycling. That's been your love. How to compost with worms, why it's important to keep our water clean, and so much more. You began working for what was then the Hendricks County Solid Waste Management District on August the 1st, 2005. Since that time, she's been responsible for growing the district's youth education program to be the best in the state of Indiana, and we believe that. She's often sought out by other environmental educators across Indiana for her ideas and advice. In 2020, the Indiana Recycling Coalition recognized you as the IRC Recycling Rockstar. And that's what it says. So, I mean, that's cool. For her dedication to quality environmental education. Amy, you also work to develop and nurture important public education partnerships with other local organizations, including the Hendricks County Soil and Water Conservation District, the Hendricks County Partnership for Water Quality, and the Outdoor Learning Center in Avon. You understand the importance of making youth education programs engaging for students while reinforcing environmental and academic concepts that benefit the students, the teachers, and the schools. The kids and the teachers love you, and I'm sure they do. Your heart is to educate our young people and help them understand their role in being good stewards of our environment. You don't like the limelight, and we know that, but you deserve to be recognized for your humble dedication to environmental education in Hendricks County. As a token of our appreciation, staff as well, and for your years of service to the Hendricks County Recycling District, we are presenting you this morning this, I lost my place here. See, I couldn't memorize it all. We're presenting you with this artwork depicting the topography of the state of Indiana. And, no, you don't have to come up here. I'll come down.
Very cool, yes, thank you.
I don't think all of you have seen this. Yeah, it's very nice.
Thank you so much.
We should do it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Excellent.
You got it?
Yep.
Maybe your cousin.
Thank you, Amy.
That's not all. That's not all.
There's more.
I didn't bring the paper with me. Emmy, also, 20 trees have been planted through the Arbor Day Foundation in your name, one for each year you have faithfully served the district. So thank you for your years of hard work and all the young hearts and minds that you've touched in our community, and the board thanks you very much.
Thank you.
Lynn, Katie, I think your husband does too, so. Thanks, Amy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So you can't go anywhere for another 20 years. Okay, Lynn,
All right.
you're up.
Thank you for.
Try to follow that.
I know it's gonna be difficult, but we will try it. First off, I'm going to start with an email that we received this past week as I was setting up our Talks Away Day 2 Saturdays ago. A gentleman stopped and just thanked me for the Talks Away Days and noted that he had, that very week, he had been to one of our yard waste recycling centers, been out to the Liston Recycling Center to recycle, and was there Saturday morning bright and early for Talks Away Day and just thanked us for our programs. They said, we're glad to do it, appreciate the kudos. Do you mind to email so that I can show the board? So that's exactly what that is. So the gentleman's name is Bill Weber, and I wanted to pass that along. Another item that I wanted to share with the board, if I can get it to work here, is some, and I'll just send this around. We've recently created a couple of videos to help try to familiarize residents with our programs, and these should just loop. They're short videos, one for Brownsburg Yard Waste Site and one for the Liston Recycling Center, that utilize some drone footage to help get people familiar with our facilities and how they operate. I think there's some resistance from some folks that are visual learners like myself. They'd kind of like to have a sense of what they're getting into before they just show up. So we were able to get some of that drone footage from a young man that is actually a college student at Purdue studying to become a drone pilot. So he did that for us, and we're going to, he's also shot footage of our most recent Talks Away Day. So we're going to do something similar for that, just to help people visualize what we're doing. So we've pushed it out with our email newsletter. It's on our website and on social media. So just another way to try to connect people with us and what we're doing. Together, those are about 3 minutes, and it should loop. But if it hangs up, give me a high sign. I can try to restart it. So, speaking of Talks Away Days, we held the third of our 5 for the year, July 12th at Hickory Elementary School in Avon. We had 882 cars through. It was our busiest event so far of 2025. We are about 90 cars behind our average at this point. It's always difficult to predict how the year's going to go, but we do have 2 Talks Away Days remaining, one in August, one in October. So we'll continue to be there. Yard waste recycling centers have been very busy. In fact, May was the busiest month we've ever had, with more than 1,200 folks coming to the sites between the 2 locations. And to kind of give you a little bit of a perspective, in the history of the district, we've exceeded 900 visitors to our yard waste sites 7 times. 5 of those 7 have been our 5 most recent months that the sites have been open. On average, by the end of June, April, May, and June, we've had just under 1,900 visitors. This year, we've had over 3,200. So the site's activity is just increasing. We discussed getting some security cameras at both sites. Those are installed and working. The attendants appreciate them. It's nice to be able to just hop on there and check on things periodically when the sites are open, but also when they're not, just to be sure all is well. So yard waste sites are very busy. Coatesville and North Salem. North Salem is doing fine. Coatesville, I wanted to point out a couple things. It's ahead of the total for last year and well ahead of the average. Activity out there is just picking up. The town of Coatesville has installed cameras kind of throughout the town, and they have put 1 or 2 there at the recycling center. And they also have passed an ordinance, illegal dumping ordinance. And I guess as of this weekend, began using it. They issued a couple citations for people that came out, I assume late on Sunday, and left stuff outside the recycling bins. So our contact there texted me yesterday morning to let me know the bins were full. Not a surprise on a Monday morning after a busy weekend. And that their police officer had issued a couple citations based on what they saw on the cameras. So hopefully that will, over time, that news will travel, and people will understand that if the bins are full, we're sorry, you need to come back later. So Liston Recycling Center, May was our busiest month ever there as well, with almost 3,000 visitors coming. We're now averaging over 600 visitors per week. Since opening, we've had over 60,000 visitors and have collected over 750 tons of good, clean recycling. So things are working well with all of that. Any questions about program kinds of things? If not, I'll move on to a strategic plan update. You'll recall in January, the board appointed a committee of Mr. Lacey, Mr. Bridget, Ms. Loudon, and then all 3 staff members have also been participating in that committee. Group met 4 times, and we discussed this a little bit a couple weeks ago when we were together, but we covered a lot of ground with that group in those 4 meetings. One of the things we did was develop a vision statement for the district, which is something that we we hadn't had, and kind of tells what we aspire to be. And the vision statement that we landed on was for the district to be an acknowledged leader in responsible community-based environmental stewardship. In addition, we amended our current mission statement, and this one, it's a mouthful, but we wanted to be sure we kind of captured everything the district does. So that mission statement is, the Hendricks County Recycling District inspires responsible behavior toward waste reduction, reuse, recycling, and proper waste management in our community. Perhaps, go ahead.
If I could interrupt you.
Yes, sir.
Should we, as the board, approve these two items as now a new or a vision statement and then an amended mission statement?
I think that would be appropriate. And then I guess the other portions of the strategic plan were what I was going to discuss. I don't know if
Or approve the strategic plan,
they
and
include-
this is part of it.
that was my thinking, but
All right. that's
I'll,
fine.
okay.
That would be appropriate, just get it on record that we were in favor, so.
Okay,
Okay, very good.
go ahead.
Perhaps the biggest job for the committee was identifying and prioritizing. We came up with focus areas, and we landed on 4 of these. And they're really kind of the efforts we should concentrate on in the coming years. So the first one was establish a permanent home for the district. We've already had some discussions and are making some moves that way. Second one was hire and mentor an assistant director, help with some of the workload, and also provide some important redundancies that are probably appropriate as the district grows. Number 3 was develop a volunteer program in an effort to increase our visibility and connect with the community more. And then number 4 was develop an additional attended recycling center, similar to what we have in Liston, but most likely more in the southwest corner of the district. And we would kind of do these in a stepwise fashion, not bite all of this off at the same time. There was a spreadsheet in the packet that kind of outlined the advantages that the group saw from kind of working toward each of these 4 focus areas, and then a Gantt chart that kind of plots them on a timeline. Obviously, we know it's not going to be perfect, but it's a place to start and begin working that way. So I'll open it up, Mr. Lacey, Mr. Bridget, anything you want to add, and then welcome feedback from the board and any questions.
My only comment is that the Gantt chart is a visual tool. It's a plan, an initial plan, and the plan is the plan until the plan changes, right? So just keep that in mind when reviewing that and analyzing it.
I just want to commend Ben and Dawn and the staff. They were really dedicated to this. There was a lot of thought that went into it. There was a lot of back and forth. And I really do think they distilled this down very well.
So I guess with that, board members, any discussion on your part from any of you? Have you perhaps looked at this? And if not, I would entertain a motion to not accept, maybe approve the strategic plan document that's been prepared by the committee.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the strategic plan as presented.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very good.
Thank you.
And thank you. I know you've met several times and we appreciate that very much. Thank you very much. And I will make, hold on. I think we'll go ahead. I can do that later. All right. Go ahead.
Okay.
We'll get there.
My last comment about the strategic plan, it was very helpful. We wrestled with where we were going to go, but I feel like we, from a staff standpoint and my standpoint, it was very helpful to, again, distill it down and have some meaningful targets to know what to work for over the next 8 years, I think is kind of the scope. So thank you for helping us get there. Next thing on my report was a board workshop idea that we've been kicking around. We talked about it a little bit with the strategic plan committee. But if there's support, I'd like to coordinate an afternoon this fall for the board to get together and dive a little deeper into our youth education efforts. In fact, maybe even have Katie and Amy walk through a presentation so you all have a sense of the caliber and of education programs that they present in the schools. Highlight some of our public outreach efforts that we don't really get a chance to do in these meetings as much. And then, as a group, take a field trip to our Brownsburg Yard Waste Recycling Center and Liston Recycling Center on days where they're open, where the public is there, so you can really see how it's going and get feedback from folks that are there. If we're going to accomplish that, it would need to be on a Tuesday afternoon. I've identified Tuesday, September 30th as a possible date. I believe that may be a commissioner's day, a commissioner meeting day.
No.
Brad, it is
that
not?
Not.
Okay.
But it is a statewide meeting that
Okay.
occurs for council members and commissioners.
Okay,
But, so,
AIC,
Yes.
Association of Indiana Counties.
Okay.
Is the organization. Yeah.
well, if then,
And that would take, if everybody attends, it could take all 3 commissioners and 2 of our members.
then that probably wouldn't be a good day. But maybe, looking at my calendar, we may need to push it into October then.
And in October,
7th or 21st, if you want to stay on
the
it too.
7th or 21st, yes, let's see.
The 21st is the.
21st is a council meeting day,
7th is open.
but if it's in the afternoon, that could work, right?
Okay. The 21st, the 7th, that is the Association of Solid Waste Districts.
Okay.
So then October 21st looks like perhaps a viable,
Yeah,
okay.
as long as you keep it in the afternoon.
Yes,
Yeah.
we'll do the afternoon. My thought is we'll get a meeting room there at Brownsburg Library, and we'll go from there. So, okay, that will be the target. If you want to pencil that in, I'll get you more information. Again, I think it'd be helpful as we begin to move through this strategic plan. Additionally, I think it'd be informative for those board members that haven't been to a Toxaway Day before or haven't been for quite some time to come observe one of the next 2 that we have for this year, August 16th at the fairgrounds in Danville, and then October 18th at Hummel Park in Plainfield. My idea isn't that you would be there the whole time, but if you could show up and maybe spend 30 minutes observing how it works, again, getting feedback from residents, I think it would be helpful, especially as we wrestle with perhaps some major changes to how we are handling the household hazardous waste portion of the district's services. Again, August 16th at the fairgrounds or October 18th at Hummel Park. I would say if you plan on coming, if you can let me know a couple days ahead of time, that'd be helpful. That way I can try to get you in and parked and not get hung up in the line of traffic that's waiting for Toxaway Day. And I'll try to step aside for a few minutes and answer questions and kind of share what's happening. So put that out there, and if it can work, I'd appreciate it. Those, again, Toxaway Days, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on those Saturdays. And I think that was all I had for the director's report.
Questions for Lynn? Okay. Thank you, Lynn. Move to the financial report.
All right, you should have it in your packet there. Again, thanks for your patience on the delay in getting this out this time around, but not a whole lot to, not going to spend a whole lot of time on this. I know we've got some other issues to discuss today. So financial facts summary, the big takeaway is through half the year, we're at about 46% of our budget for the year. We're going to get right up against it, what we budgeted for the year, I believe, just knowing what's coming. So on to the income chart. Final disposal fee income is 95% of our income. And through half the year, we're behind our budgeted amount by a little over $23,000, but we got off to a pretty slow start in January, February, well, especially January and February this year. So the totals are bumping up a little bit here. On the yard waste recycling center income side, you can see that increased activity is reflected in the increased income. We're about $6,000 ahead of where we were last year and about $9,000 ahead of the average. Again, that just speaks to how busy they have been out there. And then the backside of that is the typical charts that we look at. March, April, May, and June on the final disposal fee income have been ahead of where we were last year. So again, we're catching up a little bit there. The second quarter reports are included here. The big takeaways there. So far through the year, our revenues have exceeded expenses by about $39,000. We have spent about $80,000 more halfway through the year versus last year. A big driver of that has been, again, the yard waste recycling center expenses. And we've essentially cleaned the sites out twice. One time in February, which was material from last year, but we paid for it this year. And then again in June, they were essentially cleaned out, and they'll be ready again next month to be cleaned out, and that's about a $20,000 expense every time it happens. So we'll need to move some money into that line item before the year's out. And then another big piece of why we've exceeded what we did last year is we've already paid for 2 tox away days this year. Last year at this point, we'd only paid for 1. So we'll keep an eye on those things as we move through the year. Last thing in financial report is our 3 registers of claims for May, June, and today, July.
So, Chair, I think we need a motion on the claims. Second. Been moved and seconded to approve the claims. Any questions that anybody might have that Lynn can answer? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you all.
Okay, Lynn, old business, consideration of real estate purchase on East Main Street in Danville.
Yes, so
And let me comment first. I assume possibly most of you know where this is located. Okay. Everybody was shaking their head. Good. All right. Because many have been to the site. Yeah.
that's correct, yes. A few of us have visited. At our meeting 2 weeks ago, the board's direction was to go ahead and get a couple of appraisals of the site, which is the next step in figuring out what we might be able to offer for that. So we went ahead and did that, and Lawson & Company is one of the firms. We had contacted another appraiser out of Brownsburg that looked at it for a week and then decided they weren't going to do it. So last week, I reached out to Bowman and Associates, who we worked with before on the Liston property. She was out of the country, but was back yesterday. However, I've asked Kurt to just hold off. Lawson's and Company has visited the property, been inside the home, and are working on the appraisal. The email from Mr. Webb yesterday was, this is more complex than we thought it was going to be. It's going to take a little longer. He estimated the middle or end of next week, Lawson's would have their appraisal ready. As we discussed at our last meeting a couple weeks ago, there's been some voiced some reluctance about the size of the property. As I've thought about it, ruminated on it, I tend to agree. I've also contacted last week 6 districts, 6 other districts that have healthy, vibrant household hazardous waste, permanent household hazardous waste facilities to get a sense from them of what size property they utilize to do that. Those counties were Marshall County, Johnson, Allen, Shelby, and Hamilton, to give you a sense of who I'm asking. I was basing it more on familiarity with their programs than necessarily how well their counties mirror ours. But 3 of those 6 are co-located with other facilities. So Shelby County is co-located with a transfer station and some other facilities. Hamilton County, same thing. The standalone facilities have 3 acres, 3.5 acres, and 7 acres, respectively. Marshall County has 7 acres. She said a lot of that is a retention area, so is not really used for their facility. But I've got some concerns. I think my concerns are a little greater than they were 2 weeks ago about the size of the property at 3360 East Main and whether we can make it work, especially with the idea that we don't know for sure if we could get more. The 3 surrounding parcels, none of which are for sale, we need to go asking, and they can always say no. So that's kind of why I asked Ms. Bowman to just wait on that appraisal. My thought is we could see where Lawson's comes back with. It would be informative. Obviously, that's not going to be the whole picture. And I've had some conversations with a few of you in the last couple weeks, and there are other parcels, vacant parcels on East Main Street, none of which are for sale, but they are there. Perhaps we could explore those. And then the other idea was, and Mr. Dawes and I spoke about this briefly, the county has property down by the airport, and would it be a possibility that portion of that could be carved off for the district to build this facility there? I don't know what the county's plans are long-term for that, but that idea also came to the top. So,
Why don't you hold there
okay,
for a moment?
yes, sir.
Okay. Any discussion from board members?
One question, Mr. President. Sure. Lynn, on the, we've talked before, on the tire amnesty thing
Yeah.
that works through the health department, did you plan to work with them and accept the tires there and then obviously ship them out immediately? Or are they gonna do theirs in a separate location?
So, yeah, that whole program is separate and apart from what the district does. We promote it because it's a great opportunity. But no, that the health department has coordinated with a contractor last year. I don't know if they're using the same one this year. Contractor comes in with a few semi-trailers and some labor.
At the fairgrounds?
At the fairgrounds, yes, sir. So, yes.
Denny shared that concept with me in an email last night. Generally speaking, I thought it was a pretty good idea.
I do too.
The location's equal or greater, probably more conducive for the use. Likely at or less money without a demolition, And we've got some initial site development that's taking place there. I think could make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't know that, you know, I'm a little new in the commissioner role, but I don't know that there's a pre-described use that the county has in mind for the remaining land. And I don't think the district would require the remaining amount of undeveloped land.
I don't
So there's undeveloped land that there's no plan for at this time?
Correct.
Correct.
Okay.
Like
okay.
25 acres, I think, and didn't we develop half of it for the,
About half,
yeah, there's about
yes.
25 acres.
Great.
Right. The county bought 50 acres just right by the Gordon Graham Airport. And we are developing or building right now on half of that, a new highway garage facility for the county. And the rest will basically sit empty at this point. I am aware there are other asks for some of that at this point that I don't even think we're that much aware of, quite frankly, of all of that. But I think with the thought that the district would maybe use 5 acres, and I know one of the other folks that might look at it probably wouldn't need that much, if that. So I think there's plenty of land there. So we probably need to talk about this more, especially with our engineering folks, John Ayers and some others. And then we can begin to move in that direction.
What's your timeline on your LOI?
I don't believe there was a firm date on when it would expire.
The ask price was it 350, Lynn, on the,
In that neighborhood,
Yeah.
369 maybe,
and it was an acre and a half?
1.6.
1.62.
1.62 with both parcels, yeah. And that, the asking price was just for the parcel with the home.
Well,
Yeah.
that wasn't our offer.
Okay. Understood.
And that goes back to the earlier conversation about the value, right? There's just, this is a complicated parcel or so that's a lot of costs that are unknown, right? Demo, the development, layout, the
Zoning.
engineering work, zoning.
Drainage.
In my opinion, a clean slate would be a lot better. And again, we're targeting that 3 to 5 acres, that kind of sweet spot. And it sounds like, you know, there's some opportunity here over there, so.
I would suggest that the commissioners look at this pretty quickly so that we can provide you some direction, so that you can unwind an LOI if that's the outcome, and
And/or stopping it.
permanently stop the appraisal. I mean, Lawson's due the money they've earned because they're gonna complete it. But,
Okay.
Mr. President?
Yeah.
Ben and I just chatted briefly, and what Ben said previous at the meeting 2 weeks ago. So I think I'm ready to quit on the thing out here and just focus everything where Commissioner Dawes and you have worked on. I think, forget that.
Okay.
It's never gonna be big enough anyway.
Okay. Then,
was that in the form of a motion?
I will make that motion.
I'll second it.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to stop any further, whatever, on the property at East Main Street.
okay,
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
thank you. I think that's the right move.
And that's the advantage of doing an LOI and getting it accepted versus a full contractual purchase agreement.
Right.
And that's just a better way to go about it. There's too much due diligence that we needed to work through, and we generated an outcome in a timely manner, so
I
hats
agree.
off to you, Lynn.
Thank you.
Good job.
So I'm clear, we will not have Bowman and Associates do their appraisal. We'll go ahead and allow Lawson's to finish theirs and.
Make them known, and then we'll compensate them for
Yes.
their work.
Okay, but if we can stop it now and pay a little less, maybe that'd be all right. We don't necessarily need to see the number.
And Lynn, you could even throw out to Lawson they want to use this as a donation to the district, that'd be fine.
That's funny.
We'll see how the conversation goes.
Suggest that, they're
I think,
a for-profit company.
I think their eyes probably got a little big when they actually stepped foot on the property.
Okay.
Then my next question is, what is my role as it relates to, I understand you gentlemen wear two different hats with this discussion now.
Right.
What would you like from me and the district as you figure out next steps?
I don't think anything at this point in
Okay.
time. Let the three of us will take it and move and let you know what we do in that regard, and then it'll be back in your court
Okay.
to move ahead.
That helps me immensely. So,
And I'll say that I think we'll be able to move fairly quickly. Yeah.
okay, appreciate that very much. So the next step in this process, from my perspective then, as we figure out where it might be, is I'm gonna work to visit some of these folks that I listed before. I've been to most of their facilities, all of their facilities before, but with a new set of eyes, asking some different questions, so I can get a good sense of what we want to do. August 6th, the Indiana Household Hazardous Waste Task Force is already planning a tour of Shelby County's facility. And then coming up in September, the North American Hazardous Materials Management Association, NAMA, is hosting a conference in Naperville, Illinois. As we're not a member of that organization, many districts are, but as I understand it, they're going to have some sessions specific to building these kinds of facilities. So I plan to attend and
For you, Lynn, I think if I were in your position, I would be thinking, who are the best consultants to engage in that design and configuration? Just
I know that there are some third parties out there that,
you want to do it.
yep, okay.
And one that, you know, is user-friendly and doesn't take advantage of tax dollars or
One of the conversations that I want to have is with Jim Parker. Jim Parker was the owner of New Genesis, who was our Toxaway Day contractor for many years. In addition to Toxaway Days, they serviced some of these other facilities, and Jim's good, pragmatic
You're a great resource.
person. So he's one of the ears I want to bend on this. So.
Question, Mr. President?
Sure.
Lynn, when you tour these and you find one that you really like, is there any reason why you can't take their engineering plans? 'Cause 24 years of school board, there were times when you could use that duplication and not cost as much money. Would you be able to do that?
I think it's a question we can ask.
That's probably a question for.
You're not gonna be able to reproduce them, but it could become an advantage for the next engineering
Yes.
firm. Your topographic and
Yeah.
topography is gonna be different, but it would certainly be helpful.
Certainly.
Your land, you know, your acreage configuration is probably likely.
Well, and I'm happy to say, across the state, solid waste districts are good at helping one another, and if they are able to provide those kinds of plans, I'm certain they'll be willing to do so.
Thank you.
Yep. So my target will be to have some sort of outline of what this may look like before our October meeting, understanding that we may have to get together before that meeting to keep the wheels turning on this. But if that's the case, we'll be in touch. So
New business.
new business. Couple things. Our CAC met on July 9th. Mr. Gaddy's here. Mr. Gaddy sits on our CAC. 5 of the 7 members participated. Good discussion and questions as usual. Updated the group on our programs, what's been happening, our strategic plan. We discussed the potential property purchase, and that group shared some of the same concerns that you all shared. I shared the financials with them ahead of the budget discussion, just like were included in the board packet. And then, of course, the proposed budget figures for 2026. The group did vote to recommend the proposed budget, but did include in their motion that they urged the board to consider tapping into some of the funds that we have in this Hendricks County Special Projects Fund and or Rainy Day Fund as we consider moving forward. So that was the CAC's report, and you've got a copy of the meeting notes in your packet. Shall I move on to the budget? Okay. Your board packet included a budget overview document, the financial analysis, and budget spreadsheet. And there's one chart in this financial analysis that I want to point out, and it's the, what does it say? Percentage of total assets. And this is the one that the CAC was really reacting to with their comments about perhaps dipping into funds that we have in reserves. So over time, you can see how our assets, the total number of assets, the total amount of assets haven't changed a great deal over time, and this goes back to, what, 2012. So the district holds nearly $3 million in assets, but 78% of that, $2.3 million, is in our rainy day fund and special projects fund, which is not available for projects like we're considering as we sit here now. And the chart kind of shows the change. In 2016, the peak was 69% of the assets were held by the general fund, and that's been tipped on its head over time. A lot of that has to do with the money we spent for the Liston Recycling Center. But this is where we sit here. So something to keep in mind as we move forward and consider how we pay for whatever's next. No action needed today. I just wanted to be sure that the board was aware that that's kind of where we find ourselves. As it relates to the...
I think, based on prior discussions we've had, this isn't shocking or a surprise, so.
Yes. Good.
But we're gonna have to deal with it.
Right. Yes. So perhaps I feel like it's difficult to budget every year. This year in particular, and I'm sure the county and the municipalities are really feeling that. But with all that we're considering in the near and mid future, the 2026 budget is tricky. But we've got some numbers down here. The headlines are revenues expecting 1.057.
Lynn, you are now looking at this material in our packet.
Yes, I have jumped ahead.
This one? Yeah.
So the Word document here is just kind of the budget outline, and then there's a spreadsheet in here. This is the general fund budget. Budgeting revenues of a little over $1 million, 95% of that from our final disposal fee income. Budgeted expenditures of almost $1.3 million, exceeding what we are expecting revenue-wise. Of the expenditures, 35% of that is for personnel, less than 1% is for supplies, 45% for other services and charges, which is our programs, and then 20% for capital. I put $250,000 in there. That won't be enough if we really get going in 26, but I needed something. Budgeted expenditures exceed revenues by about $234 based on what's here. I hope you can appreciate the kind of the crystal ball was particularly cloudy this year. So, in broad strokes, as far as ongoing programs, not a lot of changes were anticipated in these figures.
Okay, questions or comments for Lynn? And we need to have a motion on this for the budget
Move for approval.
Okay.
Second.
A motion to approve the budget for 26 and a second. Now, further discussion. If we're turning, no, there isn't further discussion, so Chair will call for the question. All in favor of this recommended budget for 2026, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
We also need to do a budget for our special projects fund. We anticipate $50,000 worth of income into the fund, and that's what the budget amount of it is for. That's generally how we do it. But would appreciate a motion to solidify that as well.
So moved. Second.
Been moved and seconded on Special Projects Fund. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you. That was all I had.
All right. Thank you, Lynn. Board, questions, comments?
When the three of you discuss and further the next steps, will you, when the time is right, just kind of email, communicate with us kind of the direction there, or a path forward, if you would? Maybe a week or two, whatever, that's fine, just have an idea. Good,
Okay.
thank you.
My plan is, as president of the commissioners, will probably bring it up in our meeting following this at 9 o'clock. And it's not on our agenda, but we can do it in another part of our meeting agenda.
Thank you.
Yeah. Go ahead, Brad, bring that up.
Oh, I just, I think there's, interest in doing that. I just made a note, maybe we structure that as a long-term lease from the county to the recycling district. We do, we know the county's existence is longer likely than the recycling district. So maybe we enter into a lease versus a sale, and then we still maintain control of the property, or able to recapture it should the recycling district dissolve.
Just gives you a lot of options.
Yeah.
I think that's just the right approach. It doesn't, you don't need to be in the business of owning real estate. I've always said that.
I'm not opposed to that idea if that's what the commissioners are comfortable with and this board is comfortable with. I think that makes some sense.
We'll go about 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Thanks, Brad. Appreciate that very much. Anything else from any of the board? Okay. Right.
You want a motion to adjourn? So moved.
Then move to adjourn.
Second.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Thank you all.
Lynn, thank you, and Amy, again, congratulations, and thank you for your 20 years of service.
Yeah.
Thank you for allowing her to be here 20 years.
How are you? Thanks for the invitation.
I'm sorry, Gary.
Fences. Yep. Thank you.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot
No,
with that
you're fine.
item, but I
No,
thought it might be good to just bring up.
I think that's the way to approach it. You don't need to be in the business owner in the state.
So, district.
Right, yeah.
I don't, I'm not.
We just lease you or at no cost for the class.
Right.
Yeah, we need to ask him that
We'll
question.
get to that.
Yeah. Yeah. Couldn't get him with that.
No, but we're leasing. No. I like that idea.
I do too. Thank you, Brad.
Mr. Vice President, do you want to open?
Here he is. He's- No, I don't.
Answer your question.
I like it.
Call our meeting to order. We do have a quorum for join in a pledge of allegiance and a prayer if you choose to. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty God, we ask that your healing hands continue to be with Nate Schaefer and bring him back to health. We ask that you be with us today and our decisions, that everything we do will be pleasing to you. We ask these things in Christ's name. Amen.
And Mr. Chairman, you mentioned Nate, and I think he is back at work at a desk,
Yep.
doing things.
Well, good for him. Praise the
So-
Lord.
So it's, he's healing.
Getting there. It's a long, slow process, but yes.
3 months away from surgery, I think, is what I've been told. So,
Yes.
good.
So he has an upcoming surgery.
Oh, yes, it'll be major.
Okay, first item on the agenda is if you haven't signed in out front, please do so, as approval of the minutes for July the 8th.
Move to approve as submitted.
Second?
Those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Claims to be paid, building maintenance, $11,500.
Move for approval.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Further discussion? Those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
There are none opposed, motion carries. Acceptance of the auditor's report.
Move for approval?
I'll second it. Moved and seconded. Further discussion? Those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And none opposed, motion carries. Graham, do you have anything for us?
Unless you have anything for me.
I might here in a minute. Well, I'll tell you what. How are we going to, Tiffany, how are we going to proceed with the Ross ditch mowing, getting the rights of entry? You have some of those have conceded in writing. Should we, and I don't mind going to see them, but I want to know, because they will lay into me, I know they will. But we still got to be in there. And can you, we don't have the screen, can,
We didn't bring it.
okay.
We didn't have anything on the agenda that required it today.
I know where you're talking.
Well, but we need, I don't know how
Mind
many,
reader?
like on,
Yes.
on Mr. Stroud, on the north
136.
side of 136, I think we can get to that, our easement to do that work without being on him by coming through Rosalie Ratliff.
Well, maybe, but I don't think they want us in there till the
No,
crops are out.
right, when the crops are out, that's what I'm saying. When the crops are out, I think we can get there. It's the George Desich on the other side.
He's on the west side.
How do we get in there? How do we get a right of entry? I mean, we have the authority to be in there, but how do
Right.
we, should the board send a letter to Mr. Desich and Mr. Stroud asking, starting the conversation? And anybody on the board, please.
Maybe the best way to try to get in is, I forget the name of the subdivision.
Oh, yeah.
We might,
Yeah.
the name
It's not
escapes me.
Liston Heights, is that it?
Just north of.
It's, y'all know where I'm
Yeah,
at.
Howard Thomas did it.
So we might be able to get in through there and come down through the north. I think that's maybe the only way we're gonna do it. I don't think a letter is gonna help. I don't know that we can get off of 136 to those two properties without getting out of our easement.
I know.
That's the problem. Then we're trespassing, and they're not gonna let that happen. So I think the only way is to come from the north. Let us look
Okay,
into that and talk to maybe some friendlies in that subdivision to see if we can't get in that way to mow the west side from the railroad track down to 136.
yes,
That's the key.
right.
What's the, I mean, this must be before my time, what's the pain of the conflict with regard to allowing us?
There were, the gentleman on the west side of the ditch, north of 136, we didn't do anything wrong, but he was not real friendly to our contractors.
Just not user-friendly landowners.
Oh, no. And on the west, on the east side as well, there were multiple conflicts with our office. He accused the contractor of busting one of his windows.
That's the one, remember, Brad, you
I said
We
buy
talked
one of
about,
those.
we've, contractor tried to get with him, he wouldn't.
They were very upset that we cleared the trees. That's what
Yeah.
started the whole
He
thing.
came to the drainage board and asked the drainage board if he could build a fence and do some stuff, and the drainage board shut him down on all requests. So he has no
Little
reason to be
disgruntled
friendly
individual
to
that's
us.
not gonna be user-friendly to
No,
the drainage.
neither one.
Okay.
Well, the man on
And he
the
has
east,
that right.
Mr. Stroud, I think he'll end up, we can work with him. Partly because we're doing this out of courtesy of these people, because we're in our easement to do what the law says to maintain the drainage. I think we can get to Nick Stroud's and go all the way to 136 without, whether he wants to or not, we can stay in the 75 feet.
We absolutely can.
And Brad, we can clear to 75 feet from the edge of the bank, but we didn't. We only went 25 feet. That's because of the advent of excavators over dragline. And the town of Liston they're okay. Jim and Audra Bear gave me verbal commitment that they're okay. The cemetery is okay. The school is okay with it.
The Bears.
The Bears, I want them to send something in writing. Before we start this, everybody will need to have, as Tiffany said, these right of entry.
Absolutely.
And I want us
I
to
don't
keep
believe we
thinking
received
about that
anything from them.
so we can be ready to go when the crop comes off.
I agree.
So do whatever you guys think.
The whole problem, when these easements were created, way back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, there's no access east and west
Right.
to get to them.
Right.
So that's our challenge. It's always been our challenge. So we will continue to investigate, maybe coming in from the north, on the west side of the Ross ditch there in this.
Bob, you got verbal approval from the Bears?
Yes,
If we
Jimmy
give
called
you
me.
the right of entry form, could you take it to them and see
Sure.
if you can get? Okay.
Sure.
I'm just thinking if he
Yep.
got verbal, maybe
Yep.
he could,
This project was
that would
not
help.
a welcome project by the residents in Liston.
Okay. So Dave, you and Tiffany have anything?
Yeah. No, I don't.
Any of the board members? Well, then, Make sure I don't miss something here. Well, Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn now, I guess.
So moved.
Second.
Moving say, those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.
These are not like Brownstown, Illinois. 11 inches of rain last night.
Who did?
All they could see was the tassel tops of the corn.
Where was this?
Brownstown, Illinois, just north and east of Vandalia. 40 was underwater, 70 was underwater.
It's got great.
11 inches.
That is,
And that, is
In
it
just
flat or
maybe
rain?
an hour. That's.
It's global warming now. It's coming to the global warming.
I did some artwork this morning.
Okay, thank you. We'll grade that and get it back to you.
that was an easy meeting.
Yeah.
Two down.
That's
Two
it.
down and 5 to go.
That
No.
doesn't even
That's
count
right.
the commissioners meeting should go.
We're not doing bad.
Depends. Yesterday.
Depends on who you talk to, I guess.
Yeah.
180,000 yesterday.
Really?
That's scary.
Michael, things are going well, are they?
Yes.
But it's a low.
Denny?
I'll call the meeting to order for the Hendricks County Commissioners meeting on July 22nd. Thank you for standing. We'll have a pledge and a word of prayer. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Gracious Father, we thank you for this day. Thank you for this county that we live in, the people that are here. Give us your guidance and wisdom as we as commissioners make decisions. May the things we say and do be pleasing to you. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you all for being here today, and those of you that are here are not here but watching in or listening in, thank you for that as well. We do have a quorum. Chair would entertain a motion for the approval of minutes of our July 8th
So moved.
meeting.
Second.
That's for both the executive session and our regular meeting.
Yes, sir.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Approval of the claims that were sent to us.
Move for approval.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you. One item of unfinished business is a proposed ordinance for no parking on Coger Street, which is down off of 39 and 70 exit in that area of the county. John?
Yeah, we had looked at this a while back at the same time we did no parking ordinances on Innovation Boulevard and West Point. We tabled this one at the time because there was some issues with the property owner on the north side renting out truck parking, but I continue to get complaints about that street, and from what I've seen, it's bad. The trucks will park on the street rather than when the truck stop fills up, they'll park along the north side. Traffic leaving the truck stop has to actually, in some cases, drive west in the eastbound lane to get around the parked trucks. It's a real mess. I think the sheriff's heard some things also. I would suggest we do post that no parking so that they can enforce it. I looked at the ordinance, and Mylon talked about maybe being able to pass this without a hearing. The original ordinance that we proposed has a really low fine, $10, and then it ups to 50 and 70. In talking to the sheriff and in talking to Graham and Greg, we can raise that and set a pretty high fine and post it on the signs. It might deter people, I think. I don't know. The second paragraph of that says shall not exceed $500. Graham says we can go higher than that, but whatever you think. I would suggest posting at $500. That's just my thought. You guys talk
Okay.
about what you want to do and what the sheriff thinks.
Any comments? Sheriff Sadler?
I agree that a high fine on the sign would help us. Obviously, if it is a minimal fine, they're just gonna park if they get ticketed. So I think providing a high fine to deter them with signage, letting them know how much it's gonna cost them to park there with the fine would help us.
President,
Yes.
if I might, I agree with they shouldn't be parking there. But when the federal government came out with the electronic logs, where are they supposed to go? There is no place for them to go. They have to get off the road after a certain number of hours, and we're not providing any place for them to go.
Is my comment to that would be, is that our responsibility to provide that place for a truck company that has drivers out there. I know there's a lot of individuals that probably are their own entity, and they have to follow those rules as well.
They do.
I'm not sure it's the county's responsibility.
Yeah, right. I'm not saying it
Yeah.
is, although I'm not so sure that in the future
Right.
it shouldn't be, Because somehow they gotta have a place to get off the road, or else they'll just stop alongside the
Yeah.
road.
I hear you. Yeah.
They're gonna have to plan their routes better and understand where they can stop within their timeline.
That would,
Right.
And they are for profit, and it is not, in my opinion, the county's responsibility to provide that.
And I'm sympathetic as well. I mean, I know a lot of people in that business, but our main priority needs to be preserving the safety of that road.
that's true.
And it's just not safe with all the trucks parked there.
Okay.
So I will, if you're okay with a higher fine to advertise this, I'll need to change it, so I can change that paragraph C
To 500.
if that's your wish.
Are we okay with that amount, or you want it higher?
I am okay with 500. I assume it comes down to the discretion whether you're gonna cite them. I mean, it's officer discretion, right? But it's posted.
It is, so, you know, obviously, whether we're patrolling or we get a complaint, we go down there. I will say that when we get complaints, when trucks are parked there, it is extremely difficult for people to get in and out. And we deal with crashes as a result of it, so, having the ability to cite them, to, you know,
Gives you a little teeth.
hopefully will stop some of the crashes that we're seeing and some of the dangerous driving in that area would help as well. So, but yes, it's discretion, but we get down there and trucks parked there, you know.
Well, Mr. President, given the sheriff's comments, I'll move for $500 posted.
Second.
It's been-
When do you need that?
I'm sorry, Milo, what did you say?
August 12th for the public hearing.
Oh, okay, so we
Since you're
do need to
increasing.
have a public hearing on that?
Yeah,
Okay,
or changing what was advertised previously.
And that's when we had technically passed the ordinance, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
all right.
You can get it to me tomorrow, it's fine, I think.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, John, for bringing that
Yes.
to our attention.
It's a
I'm sure,
mess.
thank you. New business, we have a resolution on approving the issuance of redevelopment authority bonds. This is for the continuing work on the Ronald Reagan Parkway North. And with us is Adam Sturwald, our legal counsel, that works with us on bonds, and our financial advisor, Greg Garatos.
Adam Sturwell, Barnes and Thornburg, bond counsel for the county. I'll kind of go over the legal issues that we're tackling, how we got here, where we're going, and then I'll let Greg tell you all the fun financials. So, as you know, we've talked about the Ronald Reagan Parkway extension for a while. This will be through a lease financing with the redevelopment authority. The redevelopment commission will lease with the redevelopment authority. Redevelopment authority issue bonds payable from those leases, payable from ultimately a special benefits tax backup, but TIF from the Ronald Reagan Parkway. And it's anticipated that the county council will annually appropriate funds to pay that to avoid levying the tax. It's worded that way due to the issues from Senate Bill 1 and the complications from the lit changes. So far, the county council has approved the lease. If you approve today, there's also a public hearing tomorrow at the redevelopment commission meeting at 3, and there's a 2:30 redevelopment authority meeting as well for approval. If all that goes well, or all is adopted, there'll be a notice published 30 days after that. We will be able to move and close on the bonds.
Thank you, and good morning. Greg Garatos with Financial Solutions Group. The business is in Hendricks County, and I live in Hendricks County, so for the taxpayers, it's kind of important because I'm going to pay this. And so
Thank
we'll,
you for doing that.
sure.
You pay your
At
portion.
least part.
All of it.
So, yeah, I've got in front of you where we stand today. The lease has a not to exceed of 55. We don't believe, given John's expert numbers, and he's going to lower it and lower it and lower it, I'm sure.
By
And
the
so-
way, 55 means 55 million.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
there
right.
is a
Just
few
everybody
zeros
aware.
behind that.
Yeah.
On page 1, we've put together the sources and uses at this point in time. Obviously, we'll be working very carefully from here on forward. And Adam talked about 30 days, but John's out to October or November for actual bids. We may look at a limited notice to proceed if that helps, or things like that. But as the commissioners know, going through the rating process will be very difficult and important, okay? Because we got to keep our good credit rating. So we'll have someone from the commissioners, someone from council, and obviously economic development, and we've even asked Representative Thompson to help us on that phone call. And so here is the schematic design of the sources and uses. We'll decide with council how much cash we want to put in or not put in as we move forward, but those decisions have not been made other than we've shown 600,000 at this point in time. Hypothetical amortization schedule behind it. We are looking at lower than 5 at this point in time. It is a tax exempt bond, and I did put a note on page 1 that it will, as we go forward, consume 0.07 of the 1.20 if we have the max income tax rate going forward. And I pointed that out to county council so that they are aware of that. So lots of steps after this. We'll be going to the authority tomorrow and the redevelopment commission tomorrow. And so once those get solidified, then we'll be setting up our ratings call or ratings presentation, the whole ball of wax, so to speak, all of that information. So it's going to be really important. We will be one of the first doing this under the new SB1. So.
Question, Mr. President.
Yes.
So for the average taxpayer on the low end, is the 0.07 additional to what he's paying now?
No, if you recall, Bob, what we were trying to do is John's been spending a tremendous amount out of edit right now. So we were going to basically be allocating that amount to, and it's actually, this last page is actually lower than what John's been spending on an annual basis to cash fund some of it. So I believe it will not be an incremental increase. But remember, in 2028 or 2027, all LOITs go away. We reinstitute a new LOIT, so the whole pot is kind of jumbled up together, okay?
Can you explain that?
So, yeah, and so stay tuned.
Again, just kind of for everybody's understanding, as I think all of you know, you're fine, Adam. As all of you know, the long-term goal for the Ronald Reagan Parkway is to get it from 70 on the south side, eventually up to Boone County on the north side. The current work that's being done takes it up to, and this is almost done, up to 750 north in Brown Township in Brownsburg. What we're doing with this is to now go from 750 north and take it up to 1,000 north, which is 86th Street coming out of Indianapolis. So if that helps paint the picture of what we're doing, that's what's happening. And we've typically, the county has done the Ronald Reagan Parkway through the years with different monies from different fund grants and federal funds or state, so on. This is all being done by the county because of what's happened with the legislation and so on. So I hope that helps.
One more important point in kind of addressing your question, Bob. Keep in mind, we're doing this primarily too with a TIF, and we've already created that TIF district many years ago, because I think it was Adam's grandfather that we did the first mile of Ronald Reagan Parkway. And we did it right there at
I'm glad
you were here. So John was here. So we did that first mile by the Meyer in Avon doing this schematic design. So hopefully, Bob, the TIF in about 5 years will grow enough that it's paying a fairly substantial amount. And so economic development will then start paying for it. So I think that's important to remember. It worked for the first mile and many miles after that. And so, that can help. It's actually how Plainfield did their part and Avon did part of theirs. So.
Very good. So the chair would entertain a motion if that's our desire. And I hope it is. So it's a motion to approve. It's been seconded. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Adam, thank you. Greg, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. Mila, did you get a copy of this? Okay. You can pass that over to her. All right. Next on our agenda is we're going to ask all of us in the room to get up because we're going to go to Plainfield and run a marathon. Mr. Williams, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Greg Williams. I'm the Deputy Chief for the Plainfield Fire Territory and the Race Director for Back Your Badge Marathon. So this will be our third year for the marathon. We're seeking permission or consent for a single lane closure on County Road 350 from Vestal to Liberty Meadows. So it's just that southern lane. The runners travel westbound in that lane. It's a coned lane. We have police officers at both Vestal Road and Liberty Meadows, protecting the runners, protecting the traffic that allows them to go through there. Last year we saw 922 participants between the three distances. So we have 5K, half, and a full marathon. And this year we're on track. We're 150 runners up so far to date. So that I expect that to continue to grow, and hopefully we're going to be, in the next 5-ish years comparable, something like Carmel size. So
Move for approval.
It's been moved for approval.
Second.
It's been seconded. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Opposed? Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Best to you.
Thank you.
Good. And all the runners, walkers, runners, whatever. Our next item on our agenda is from the Soil and Water Conservation District to present to us a request for, or at least a conversation with us about the need for a new staff position for urban resource conservation and so on. And I've talked to both of them about the need that they'll be going to the county council because they're the ones that officially approve positions. But good to have you with us, and we will listen to what you're doing.
Perfect. I'm Mike Starkey. Ethan Truax. I'm a farmer from Brownsburg, but we're both board members of the Hendricks County Soil Water Conservation District. There's 3 other board members. We do not get paid. We're just there to, we're volunteers because we believe in conservation and support of others. We also have an office manager, Terry Lentz, at our office, and Bree Ollinger. She is a resource conservationist. And you met Bree last month at the drainage board meeting.
Yes.
With that, Bree is leaving us next week. She wants to stay home as a full-time mom, which we support wholeheartedly. And also, we've lost our district conservationist and another staff member on the national side because of the Doge cuts. So I think another reason Bree's leaving, it's just been overwhelming for our district to handle what's going on, especially since we lost on the federal level. We also, on the state level, lost a support of an urban conservationist. And as you all know, Hendricks County is becoming an urban county, especially my part of the county, the eastern part, and Brad's part. And therefore, we were thinking about submitting to the county council for a budget for '26 to hire a part-time urban conservationist. because we're losing that on the state side also. Also, our request is to replace Bree with another employee. The good news is we found somebody to replace her, a young man out there in Brownsburg who's eager to take the position over in the meantime. So we had a request from HR to make sure that's okay with you to replace Bree with another part-time employee. Bree went part-time about 1.5 years ago because she wanted to stay home with her child more. She's actually been doing full-time work, but with the part-time position she has, she lost all of her benefits, as a kind of part-timer. Our request for the budget for 26 would be to replace the part-time position with a full-time position that Bree previously had. Also, for our 26 budget, we were going to request to the council a part-time position for the urban conservationist. That was the reason we're here today. HR told us that, we need to present that to you and make sure that was okay to request that for our 26 budget. So that's the reason we're here.
Good.
Any questions?
I think the chair would say we can probably, by consensus, show support to do this if we're so
We
desired.
look upon it favorably,
Right.
but so ultimately the financial decision rests with the council.
We totally understand that.
Yeah.
But I would go so far as to publicly express favorable
Right.
approval of it, should the council
I think
agree.
it's important work that you're doing
is.
and appreciate both of your involvement as board members. And Mike, you're involved in a lot of other things as well. Ethan, you might be too. I just don't know you.
Try. He's like me.
Yeah, okay.
Mike's part-time farmer.
Okay. Bob, are you in agreement with that? Okay, very good.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you for your time today.
Thanks for coming out today.
Thanks. Yep. Mr. Dombrowski.
Yeah, Tim's out, so it's,
You don't look like Tim.
no, definitely not Tim. But yeah, my name's Brian Herskam, I'm with Planning and Building. I work in Tim's office.
Yeah.
Here's rezoning for the Connection Point Church out in Brownsburg, or actually in Avon area, but they're out of Brownsburg. This is recommended for approval unanimously by the Planning Commission. I can answer any questions you may have.
I've seen Mr. Banning is kind of moving this way to lend support, so on, but that's fine. Any questions about this?
Yes,
from-
Mr. President?
Yes.
It was discussed, apparently, about the traffic.
Okay.
Hendricks Power had some concerns
Okay.
about if they are able to, if the church is able to buy that home so that it can, did that topic come up at the Plan Commission?
Yeah, the CEO or whoever from Hendricks Power was there. He talked about it a little bit, and we talked about some options. Really more kind of focused. The effort's more to make that change at the development plan review stage rather than the rezoning stage. John can talk a little bit about traffic.
I mean, clearly from the site plan, their intent is to realign their drive so it lines up with 500 at such time as they're able to acquire that house. And they've kind of laid out the drive to show it temporary until they acquire that and permanent. That's their intent, and obviously that's ideal. We can't make them do that.
Right.
And what they're showing is the separation that they're showing to their current drive location is allowable by ordinance, and I believe that it's safe. And concerns with traffic at that intersection, really the contribution by the church is minimal. It isn't really gonna make it any worse wherever it's located, just because their peak flows are not that high, not that heavy compared to Main Street flows. And their peak times generally don't coincide with the peak times on the roadway. I think the bigger concern with traffic at that intersection comes from Avon's development, the big one to the east there, that's coming in north of there on 500. They're gonna have, I think, at least 2 accesses onto 500 eventually, and I think that was Greg's biggest concern. Avon sent me a copy of the traffic study they did for that, and they're showing that intersection will still operate okay
with their projected numbers as is, but I'm gonna look into that a little further and maybe do our own study to see if we need to think about doing something different there.
So basically, if we approve this zoning change from planned business to neighborhood business, there's more to come down the road, and all we're looking at is, are we willing to change this zoning?
Strictly zoning,
So,
and I think we are.
okay,
That's
Chair
in the form
would,
of a motion.
Chair would enter, okay, it's been
Approval
moved.
of ordinance number 2025-23.
I will second the motion.
Okay,
If just, so it's on their plans, in their plans and to buy the house if they can and line that road up. In other words, line their driveway up. Okay, I'm okay with that then.
okay,
And we can't force them to buy something that's not for sale.
right, right. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay, thank you. And you can come back anytime if Tim's not here. That's fine.
I appreciate that.
Thank you. All right, Debbie Fletcher.
Good morning,
Hi,
gentlemen
Debbie.
and lady. I'm here just to ask you for your approval. As you read in the biweekly report, we finally have installed all of the sirens that needed to be installed, which is, did you hear the angels sing? I know I did. Because it was a challenge for me and it's only been a year and a half. But anyway, we still have 3 sirens that we purchased with the ARPA grant back in 2022. I actually didn't know they existed until about 3 weeks ago. So Stylesville has a siren that they purchased themselves, not connected to the system at the county level. They purchased it in 2014. We would like to replace that siren with one that we currently have, upgrade it, could connect it to our county system. So that's one. The other 2 would actually be replacement, one in Avon and one in Brownsburg. They've got 2 sirens that have, died over time. The cost for installation and for the siren has already been paid through the grant. So for those that receive the sirens, they would have to pay about $1,800 for removal of the siren that's there, disconnect and reconnect the power. And that would be the extent of the expense to them. But that would remove those sirens from storage, put them up in the air where they should be, and we would be able to be done until the next time.
And provide better service.
And provide better service, absolutely.
That seems like a
Public safety.
Move for approval.
real easy second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank
Debbie,
you very
thank
much.
you.
Yeah, if
Thanks
it was
for-
up to me,
thanks
I'd
for
remove all the
working.
sirens, give everybody a weather radio,
Very
but
good.
that's me.
All right.
Thank you all.
Thank you, thanks. Okay, the next item on our agenda is to renew the contract with Right Stuff software that the auditor's office uses. And this is a 3-year renewal. I think pretty much same as it's been. And so Ann is not here. Mila was to present it, but I think we've read it. Mila, I don't know if you have to say much.
There's an increase annually of $3,800, but they did increase the users from 535 to 570. So that's why they're saying there's an increase.
So the total amount ends up being the $38,500 and the $7,200, which makes it $45,700 for 3 years.
That's per year.
Yeah. So the chair would entertain a motion to approve this.
So moved.
I'll second it. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Thank you.
No, you're fine.
Mr. Ayers, back on the Ronald Reagan Parkway.
Yes, we
And
have,
it goes along with what we did earlier.
I guess it does, well, except for the first item.
Yeah, that's true.
So I have 3 items for you relating to the parkway. The first one actually relates to the current segment that is under construction. Our design consultant for that segment was a joint venture between United Consulting and Lockmuir, just like with the next segment, so Phase 1B. Typically, in a contract for design, they include a certain amount of money for post-bid services, so if they're required to do shop drawing reviews and things like that during construction to make sure things proposed by the contractor match up with the original design, and also to resolve any conflicts that may come up or redesigns. They originally had included $30,000 in their fee for this segment to do that. That ended up not being enough. We had a lot of redesign issues with piling, with some of the beams, some of the clearances over the railroad. We had to recalculate for the railroad. We had a lot of shop drawing resubmittals that they had to review more than normal. We had some utility conflicts that weren't originally anticipated, and had some what they call means and methods issues with the contractor, where they were proposing to do things a certain way, different from what was intended, different from the normal spec. So they are asking for an additional supplemental fee of $62,000 to up that item to $92,000 in that original agreement. Some of these items, a few of them maybe you could argue should be on the contractor, but there's really no way to do that. So
Did you say 92,000, John?
92 total. Yeah, originally that line item was 30,000, and they're asking for 62,000 additional.
I'm looking, mine says 62,000.
No.
Yeah, 62,000 is the increase amount.
That's what we need to approve, is to move it up from 30,000.
Correct.
To add
Okay.
62,000 to that. 30's already been approved.
Correct. Yeah, 30,000 was in the original
I
design.
completely understand when stuff like this comes out. I'll move for approval.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any other discussion or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay.
So as we move forward to this next segment, 1B, the bulk of the design was covered in the agreement we did with them in 2017.
Okay.
So virtually all the design is done. That one has sat on the shelf now for about 3-4 years. We're ready to move forward, so there's a lot of updates that need to be done, a couple permits need to be renewed. Utility coordination, we need to go back through the utility coordination, make sure everybody's out of the way. We think they are. We have one possible conflict that came up this week. And then they're gonna have to do some design modifications to match in with what we've done at 1,000 North with that project. Some of the modifications there we attributed to the 1,000 North project, some of it we're putting onto this, but they have, mainly it's updating the plans, make sure they meet existing specs, current specs, and re-permitting and utility coordination. So their fee there's two, if you remember originally, we had a program manager contract with Structure Point, and then the actual design, final design was with the Lockmuir United team. The Structure Point contract, we were able, and I'll bring that to you next meeting, we were able to shuffle some things around in that original contract that weren't used, so we're not gonna have any increase in that contract. This design contract will increase by $199,200. So, and that's actually down their initial, when we originally started talking about this last fall, their original proposal was quite a bit higher than that, so they found some efficiencies in the existing items and reduced it.
So, question, Mr. President?
Sure.
So Structure Point continues to be the corridor manager?
Yes, the program manager, yeah. They've handled
Is
the
that like
environment.
an evergreen clause that moved them into this next phase?
It covered the entire section of the parkway going north, yes. So this is just the second phase of that, yeah.
So they will be the corridor manager all the way to the county line?
Well, to the county line, all that's left there is a half a mile. So, yeah, presumably they would be for that too when we get to that stage. Yeah, they've handled all the environmental stuff, the hydraulic design, and the basic road design items. And then coordination with the designer and all the other players.
Move for approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Thank you, John. Go ahead for.
The last item for Phase 1B, as we move to that, hopefully going to a letting late this year, is for inspection. And typically, we only do full-time inspection on federal aid projects, but on larger projects, we want to do full-time inspection like this one. We're modeling this one after Bridge 290 and Avon is really the first large-scale project we've done 100% with local funds. So the CE contract looks a little different for one with 100% local than one that involves federal money because there's some tasks that the state does that we don't have to do. So it's not necessarily adding cost, but it adds some responsibility. So we wrote this, we need to do an RFQ to select an inspection firm for this next phase to do full-time construction inspection, and we've reminded them this is 100% local, and they need to think of those items. But we need to get started with that process now and make a selection, and you know, I don't know how that's gonna look. I would imagine we'll wanna do interviews. It's a pretty large-scale project, kind of like what we're doing now. So that's up to you if you want to do interviews with them once we get the responses back. I think we've asked for them to be back by August 18th, their proposals. And then,
18th of August.
And then we can go from there on a selection and then fee negotiations to be ready when it goes to letting. So I'm asking for your approval of the RFQ.
Move for approval.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. My only question, do you think that length of construction time is realistic?
Year and a half?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
We do.
Good, very good. I like that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Very good. Mr. Swally.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Currently, we are replacing the furniture in the payroll part of the auditor's office. We did the auditor's office. We're reusing biggest part of that furniture, but there's 2 items that we will not be reusing, and we'll be moving those to the East Campus and let that go with that building demo. So,
Very good.
just want to claim those 2 desks as no value.
When will that demo occur?
Currently, when we get into the next line that I have, we'll discuss that, if that's okay.
It's fine.
Move to declare the items of no value listed.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Now, go ahead, sorry.
So currently, you're aware of our efforts out at the fairgrounds to construct a building to replace some of the square footage that we're taking from another building.
Yes.
This has been a little bit of a challenge because we've done it all in-house, our site design and all of that. We didn't outsource that, so we've had to go through this building resizing a couple times to get the right fit, which we would believe that we are currently there. We have 2 quotes, and I have this one contract, but currently I have some legal challenges with the contract that I'll have to address, so I want to present this to the commissioners and then have it signed at a later date once that contract is corrected to legal's requirements. And then we'll be ready to go. I will have to go to the building corporation, so I really can't move forward until I go through all these steps. Then I can start the state design release process. So currently, that's pushed me back more than what I'd like to be, but what's going to happen currently is they're going to move back into the building that's empty now that we're going to use for the voting machines. And then once this building is constructed, then they'll move into it, then I'll move the voting machines. So currently, I believe that it will not possibly be till spring that we demo the building, which we already got under contract and is acceptable. I've only got 1 more tenant, the Parks is moving out this week, and then I've got 1 more tenant, IT, to move out, and then the building's ready to go. But I got my challenge on this building that I have to work with the park or the fairgrounds to accommodate. So we're working together. It'll work out. It's just taking me a little longer to get to this point than what the plan was.
So we're extending the fairgrounds. We're really building a separate building. Is it gonna be attached to the current building?
It will be attached.
Okay, so it will be. Okay.
Yes, that's what they wanted, and that's what part of the challenge was. If you see on
Yeah,
page
I
2, you
looked
see
at
the
that.
one end's open, so it will attach.
Okay.
There's an elevation change that we have to deal with so that it will actually step down for the elevation so the aprons work correctly. And it'll be a good space for them, which will accommodate. It's not quite the square footage addition that we wanted to. They are gaining square footage, but it's not, we had to really bring that size down because of conflict with utilities and different conflicts, so. They all have this, the park, or the fairgrounds has all this information and they've reviewed it and everything, so. Building corporation is my next step once we can get that date set. And then we can move forward.
Chair would entertain a motion or more
So what are,
discussion.
we're approving the fact that you're gonna let these 2 bids, are we accepting a bid or?
Yes, we're accepting the bid. I'd like to approve and then have Dennis sign at a later date once I overcome the
And which bid are
legal
we
challenges.
accepting?
That would be the Graber.
Graber.
Yes, Post Buildings Incorporated.
Yeah, at $213,765.
Do they have a time frame when they can do it?
So currently, because of my time frame, I don't have that time frame narrowed down, but they are aware of my challenge, so we want that constructed before the snow flies is our goal.
I'll move for approval of Graper then.
Second.
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. Increase the treasurer's credit card limit and, Myla,
We did this,
well, you need to,
Email.
you need to,
Ratify it?
ratify my approving,
on
credit,
July 16th.
credit card
Move for the
increase
approval that Mr. Dawes took action on.
July the
16th.
16th, yeah, on July 16th, yeah. So that we could get people registered for something that the card didn't go that high. Anything else?
Yeah, the
All in
motion.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Thanks for
We'll cover
ratifying
you.
my signature.
We got your back.
Thank
While
you.
we're on the credit cards, Nikki Lawson had mentioned
Nikki, yes. Nikki,
increasing her credit.
come on
card
up.
limit.
Good morning. I thought I was on and then realized that I wasn't, so I'm just gonna piggyback. I'm Nikki Lawson, County Assessor. I too would like an increase in my credit card. Right now, I'm at a 5,000 and currently I'm registered for a conference and I'm over that just on my hotel. So I can pay a check for the education piece of it, but the hotels really are not accepting checks, right? They just are not, they're fighting it. So if I could get an increase, probably, I think right now I'm at 5,000, I think 6,000 or 7 would give me plenty of room to do my hotels and still use it for my office supplies and things.
Pleasure.
7,500.
Is this just a temporary increase or a permanent?
It would probably be permanent because of all the education that my staff has to do. We do these conferences twice a year, so it's about that much every time we go.
Costs
Mr.
go up
Quicker's
in inflation in 2 or 3, 4 years.
I'll
It'll
second the motion.
move to
Thank you.
increase to 7,500.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Moved and seconded. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Thanks, Nikki.
Thank you.
You bet. Okay, comments from the floor. Any public comments? Seeing none? Jay? Welcome, Jay.
Good to see you back. Jay Thompson, 7722 Coil Creek Trace, Pittsburgh. First off, I want to thank whoever did the new entry system for the fair. I went last Thursday. It was very nice to get in without having the traffic
That
back
would be
up.
the fair board.
Yes.
And this gentleman is
All right,
one individual there.
The Sheriff's Department.
Yeah.
Fair board.
So, One of the signs a little confusing, it said use both lanes, so I did. I was dead center right down the middle, precision driving. People behind me didn't care for it. Blowing our parking lot on the power poles, the light poles there. I thought maybe if you put numbers up there or colored bands, it might make it easier.
Fairgrounds.
Yeah, at the fairgrounds.
Yeah.
Might be easier for them to locate where their car is, because when I got out of my car, a couple was saying, well, I hope we can find us when we get back out here tonight. So I said, well, you're the second from the last power pole. So if you use color or something like
We
that.
we can relay that back to the fair board
Okay.
and the executive director,
Well,
I guess
and-
is his title,
Yes,
Steve.
Mr. President,
Yeah.
the fair board, some of the things they this time were kind of experimental.
Mhm.
The entry and exit are not experimental, they will stand, but there are other parts, the fence and some of those things they were experimenting with to see how it's gonna work before they do something permanent. So, you can make a call to them, call Steve and say, hey, the posting of where the parking would help us.
Yeah, it would probably help public safety response if the medics had to go out in their cart, somebody's, falling down or whatever, give a better location, so.
I think somebody's making notes as you're talking as well, so
Okay.
we'll get there.
Okay. And another thing I didn't know, I don't know if they have a pan tilt zoom camera out there, but just as I got in, I was talking to the sheriff and somebody called and said traffic's starting to back up. I said, well, there's no traffic when I came in 3 minutes ago. So something with a wireless link from the pan tilt zoom camera out on 200 back to his command center certainly make it a little bit easier for them. So.
Any of those suggestions you wanna make, they'll be
And then
accepted.
one other thing separately, I went to the highway radio room about a month and a half ago, and there are a number of surplus radios that aren't being used anymore. Last night during the Aries leadership meeting, they mentioned that some of those they might be like, they didn't know if the county felt like they could donate those to the Aries people or the Races people. So I don't know what your process is on declaring surplus. Some of the radios haven't probably been used in 20 plus years, because I checked the FCC license, it expired. Apparently, there used to be what's called a voting system where there was the FCC license shows a tower behind what used to be the marsh in Brownsburg. But back then, when people guessed on latitude and longitude, it actually is located in somebody's backyard on the creek west there. So, but those radios, I turned them off. There's no reason to have them powered up. And there's 2 or 3 old repeaters as well.
Well, Mr. President, that is a great suggestion, because the ham operators, who I've worked pretty closely with, do we have any reason why we couldn't donate them to those guys?
I guess my thought would be to have, I assume, John, that might be Kurt.
Are they actual highway radios or they're
I don't
radios
think
stored in
that
that room?
there's, one of them doesn't have a frequency on it, so I can't tell. The other one does have a frequency label. I could go double check that to see. Yeah, they're old. Yeah, they're not being used right now. One of them, 2 of them are in the power.
We can check into it.
Yeah, I'd
and
say
certainly.
Probably we want to check
look
the
at
serial
doing that.
numbers.
Right.
Make if they came in on a grant, there's probably a
We'll work
disposition
on that. Yeah.
process for that.
I do have one comment on that. We would have to see, because you can only transfer property to certain organizations.
Yeah.
So we'd have to have
We just gotta confirm.
that it actually qualifies.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd-
They are a 501c3, so they are a nonprofit, the Aries group. So they should be okay, but
Just thought I'd bring that up.
Council says that. Jay, thank you very much. And just in case you wonder, how does he know all this technology stuff? That's his business. That's what Jay works in, so, yeah, thank you. Any other comments from the floor? Yes, sir. Please give us your
Jeff Banning,
check
Banning
account
Engineering,
number and
853 Columbia Road, Suite 101 in Plainfield.
yes, sir.
I was here about a month ago. There was some discussion at the last commissioners meeting about a right-of-way MOU agreement. Sorry, Graham. Greg was in the middle of that, but I just trying to figure out, I think it just needs to be signed off on. Did
I
we?
haven't received the final one back.
Okay.
That was the last I knew, was that Greg was still working on language in it. And as
Okay.
soon as he gets language that's agreeable to him, to John and to I guess, the builder, that they're supposed to email me the final document, and I haven't gotten it yet.
So we're just waiting on Greg, everything okay?
I thought it was there, but maybe
I
not.
thought it was too.
I did too, just
I
based
thought
on the
it was done.
emails.
I may not have seen all the.
Well, and the main reason I'm at, one, just trying to keep the process moving forward, but we need to file with the town of Brownsburg, and we just want to make sure we got our ducks in a row so that we can go ahead and do so.
I do think that the latest discussion was they already kind of
They took
acted on
action,
it, so it's
yes.
not gonna be
That's,
another action. from them.
that's what I read in the email chain as well, so.
So
We're just waiting
do
on
I
the
need to
final.
sign off on something then, maybe?
Whenever
or-
we get it from Greg, yes.
Okay.
But we haven't gotten that yet.
All right.
Very good, very good. Okay, I just wanted to just verify that. That was my understanding, that was our understanding, but just wanted to verify.
I
Okay.
apologize that we haven't.
Oh, no problem, no problem.
Private enterprise.
Yeah, thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks, Jeff. Enjoy the marathon tomorrow in Plainfield.
I don't think it's tomorrow.
I'm riding my bike.
I don't mean tomorrow. Sorry. You still have time to train.
Yeah.
Elected officials, any comments from any elected officials? Sheriff? Good morning.
On the fairgrounds, there are, out in the lot, there are letters. They're not on every pole, but you'll see an A lot, B lot, C lot. So we do have some direction out there, may not be as easily identifiable depending on when you're looking or where you're looking, but we do have that out there. And I would also say that we have a boom camera on on our command bus, and we have the ability to see out like to gate 5 to zoom out there. Obviously, it's not up all the time. We did have some weather come in a couple different days, and so we don't always have it up, but we do see that. So I think overall, traffic was better this year from what we've seen in the past. So I think the collective work with the safety team really helped, and the fair board obviously helped us in that progress. So I thought that was really good. I did submit on the 9th a letter for personnel and vehicle request. I don't know if that has been reviewed or not, if there's been any discussion. Happy to answer any questions. I do have my workshop scheduled for August 5th. So I know we won't have a meeting before that from today, so.
Recall seeing that, I do. I certainly do. Okay. I'll stick my neck out and say I think we are very supportive of what you are proposing.
Okay.
And would recommend that to the council.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, I appreciate that. And then the only other thing that I had, I submitted yesterday a software, it's not necessarily software, it's an RFID system for the jail. It's an agreement for 12 months to purchase, it's called Command Cloud. Again, I sent it to Greg yesterday for review. The verbiage says agreement, not contract, but obviously I think it's best if you all review and make a determination. Not asking for funding, we've got that side taken care of. But there's a lot of advantages to that system. For our jail, it'll put an RFID system, allow cloud software for us to be able to track inmates through bracelets that they will wear. It also allows us to generate reports for security checks of each of the blocks. Also helps us more timely be able to identify if a check hasn't been done, because the supervisors get notifications if there's a delay for some reason. And so a lot of benefits to the system will again help us as our tracking 300 inmates and their movements throughout the facility. This will help in that.
This is a renewal of what you already.
This is not, we do not have that.
Oh, so you
No.
do not have it?
Yeah,
Okay.
this is a new agreement.
You got the funding budget.
We have the funding for it. We have the money. I'm not asking for that, just that, that you're okay with that
What
agreement.
if we approve this pending legal review?
Yep, 100%.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
Second.
Then moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Do you want me to give this to
Sure.
Greg?
Like I said, I sent a copy to Greg
Oh, okay.
yesterday.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Sheriff. Any other elected officials? Okay, now's your chance. We're moving on. Okay. Staff reports. Mr. Ayers.
Most of the things in that report are just for your information or updates. A couple things I wanted to point out. Item 7, the curve correction down south of 40. Like I talked about earlier with inspection, typically with local jobs, we do part-time inspections. Clark Dietz is our on-call for that. They've given us a fee for $43,805 to inspect that. And with your go-ahead, we'll sign that. You're okay with that fee?
Entertain a motion to approve Clark Dietz for that work.
Second.
Thank you.
Then moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay. Opposed? None? All right.
All right.
Anything else, John?
Yeah, item 8, just point out there, we installed a couple culverts last week. Both of them, one Monday, one Tuesday. I wanted to note that the one on Monday, we ran into some issues being ready for, we had a very expensive crane and all the boxes being delivered Monday, so we had crews work through the weekend on the 12th and 13th. Remember, that was a very hot, miserable weekend, but they worked all weekend, so we didn't have to push that delivery date back, so we appreciate their efforts there. Meeting on the 25th with NDOT to discuss help funding the roundabouts. Lori Maudlin set this up because Lindsay Quist, who's now the NDOT commissioner, she was in on the meeting, Denny, you and I were at a couple of years ago. She had a different role then, but she's familiar with it. And so Lori thought it's a good idea to get this back in front of them again. So I realize that's short notice.
No, it's fine.
If you want me to move it out.
I'll be there.
Okay.
Yeah. Is this in downtown or?
I'll get a
Crawford?
room. Yeah, it's at the state office.
Downtown. Okay, very good. Yeah, I'll be the one that goes.
Okay, 2 other things real quick. We did have, Highway Department had 2 dump trucks and a front end loader at the fair on Friday for Touch a Truck event. Had a lot of responses and had some paint for kids to write stuff on the snowplows.
Oh,
So,
cool.
yeah. So that was neat. A lot of people enjoyed that. Also, just in case you start hearing some grumbling, I'm doing some grumbling, but on the Ronald Reagan Parkway, their contract completion date is November. And if you drive by there any given day, like Kim does every morning, there's not a lot of people working. And we're trying to push them, but they have till November, and typically contractors take till their completion date. We're trying to get them to get done quicker. They could have by now if they allocated their resources differently, but I'm not running white construction, so I don't know where they need their people. But I'm hearing a lot of grumbling from people going, why isn't this getting done? And we're asking the same question, but we can't force them as long as they hit that completion date. There's only so much we can do.
I'm hearing the same thing. So, yeah.
My phone number's out there on a website, I guess now, so I expect to hear a lot today.
It's written on a telephone pole.
Yeah. So we're trying to get them to finish it up, but they make those staffing decisions and
Okay. All right.
do the best we can.
Thank you.
All right, that's all I had unless you had something.
John, anybody? Mr. McCormick.
The only 2 items I really need input from you on my report is, 1, the budget workshop. Normally, the time's just scheduled for the commissioners.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how Ann's doing it this year, but she sent out a way for us to schedule. And if you want to appear before the council, I can schedule you one. If not, it's
Probably respectful if we did that.
Yeah,
That's
I think it is. Yeah.
okay.
One of us will be there, or
Special time of day or better time of day?
on the 5th, or?
Probably on the 5th would be the best.
5th of August,
Yes.
to meet with you.
The council for budget workshop.
Pick it and give me
Yeah.
feed it to me. I'm wide open right now.
Okay.
So just pick something and send it to us.
All right, I'll do that today, so you'll. And the rest of the items really are just for your information, unless you had any questions about it.
Hang on. No, I think not. That's fine. We want you to have a great vacation.
Oh, thank you.
Yep. We're quiet.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'll miss the next meeting. I try to schedule around them, I just couldn't do it on this one.
We'll get along okay with that,
Yeah, yeah. We may even talk about it.
It wouldn't be the first time, I'm sure.
Why you good stuff. Doug Morris, Mr. Morris.
Good morning. My report was pretty brief, just some updates, but no any questions otherwise. Things are going pretty well, knock on wood.
Okay. Thanks.
Sure.
Nothing for Doug? Okay. All right. Let's see.
He's assuming he's next.
Mr. Smalley. Good to see you.
Good seeing you. My report's pretty simple also. Highway garage, the rain events just keep giving to that project. We have a meeting today at 2:00. Most likely it's going to push back our completion time, which really doesn't have an adverse effect because we don't have to move or anything, but it is definitely keeps giving.
We don't have to move, but we want to move.
Correct, but Mother Nature
Any
just.
update on the gas?
We'll have that today at 2:00 also. We're looking at a different route, but I really don't have any information to present on that currently. I will send out some information after the meeting today on that direction.
Brad, it's doable though, either route we take, it's just a matter of picking a
I
route.
knew it was doable, but then the timelines, nobody could give us any kind of
Yeah,
commitments.
I think gas company still is working on their
Uh,
plans.
took
It's kind of up to them.
Another odd.
Wish we had more
Weeks
to
ago.
make us feel a little better on that, but yes, sir. Yes.
So back to the ring thing.
Yeah.
We have the option of spending another $80,000 right now for line stabilization, but we don't see any purpose in it.
Yeah.
Please don't.
We think it's gonna dry out, and the wind's gonna come up, and we might be 2 or 3 weeks getting late, but we don't see a reason to spend $80,000.
Very good.
And if it just keeps raining on top of it, it'll still be muddy. So anyway, we hope to give you some more updates as we progress through the meeting today. Fairgrounds Government Center roof, you can see there is 5 panels on and they are starting that. So you get a little bit of a view of what's taking place, what that's going to look like. I think it's going to look great. The biggest challenge we currently have, and we got a response, is with the elevator. We have got a response that they have found a part that we'll be moving forward and installing at no expense for a temporary fix, and then we'll get scheduled to replace or update both of those elevators.
And seems like we've had.
It has been
just
quite the
one
challenge.
constant
Yes,
elevator problem.
It has. And then with the dated parts, just like we've had on other issues, that will go away and we can operate normally.
Thanks, Jack.
Thank you.
Do that. County Attorney.
I'll
Graham,
follow up
thank
on
you
the-
for being here. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I'll follow up on the MOU for Jeff.
Good. Very
I don't
good.
have anything else.
Very good. Anything else?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Commissioners, go ahead. Anything?
No.
I'll bring it up.
Just so we bring up
Okay.
the-
A couple of items. First, performance reviews by all departments. There was a date on those, and I'm aware that there's some departments that aren't getting those done. And so just a word out saying, please get your performance reviews of your people accomplished so that can get done. Just FYI to everybody. We actually got ours done, so. And we don't like doing them either, but we like the people we do them for, but, yeah. The other thing is that, the 3 of us are on the Hendricks County Recycling District Board, along with 2 county council individuals. Towns have representation on that board. And at our meeting for that board this morning, there's been ongoing discussion for that organization, which is another governmental entity in the county that, that we are a part of, and actually your budget, I think, goes through the council as well. But we discussed at that meeting this morning, is that organization going to buy land and/or a building somewhere to move their offices to? What's involved in that and so forth. And Lynn, kudos to you, Lynn Detweiler, who's the executive director. Lynn approached the commissioners with, since we have 50 acres of land that we own by the Gordon Graham Airport, why not work with the district instead of buying land, using their money to buy land to build on, use maybe 5 acres or so of the land that we already own by the Gordon Graham Airport. This commissioner had a great idea, enter into a long-term land lease at a very reasonable price, and let the district then use their money to work on the building and other things that are necessary. So the chair would entertain a motion to do that. It would involve our legal counsel working with Lynn on what that land lease would look like, and we can approve that at a future meeting. But if we're in favor of that, I entertain some kind of motion.
Brad, you make the motion because you framed it properly.
I would move that the Hendricks County Commissioners proceed with structure of land lease being defined by the legal representation to the Hendricks County Recycling District.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Is that good enough, Graham?
Yeah,
Okay.
that gives us direction.
Okay.
And I would be, vague on any exact amount. I mean, we talk in 5 acre
Right,
increments,
right.
but until you do some very preliminary engineering, we really don't know.
Yeah. So, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, very good. Lynn, thank you.
You wanted quick action, we gave it to you.
Yeah, that's right.
Unexpected.
Usually, government bureaucracy doesn't move that
No,
fast.
it does not.
I thought the idea was great, so.
Yes,
We agree.
yes. Anything else from the three of us?
I don't.
Okay. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.